Hi everyone, this is Sandy Create the Heart, and today I am going to be sharing the second video in my little mini series on how to make ocean and sea backgrounds. So I don't know what happens to stupid computer, but it decides to change my settings, so I have to do a voiceover. It's very frustrating. So in the first video, it was the first half of how to use stencils. I gave you some tips and showed you some different products. And some different stamp sets and dies out of my collection that kind of help give that beachy summer vibe. So today we're going to be focusing on some stencils from Lawn Fawn and La La Crafts, and I can't remember what that sun one is from. It might be Not Too Shabby Shop, but that one is from Lawn Fawn, and it comes together in those two pieces. And so we'll be using that. I'll be using this sun one, which I can't remember came from La La Crafts or Not Too Shabby Shop. And then this other one that has the waves as well as the clouds from La La Crafts. And so I'm going to be using all of those. Some of them are going to be all used together. Others will be used separately. So I did speed up the video because it's just quite not the same when I have to redo it. So that's the reason. But anyway, I did use these all different ways. I used pastes and I used ink. So here are some of the other products I'm using. I'm using that fish stamp set for My Favorite Things, as well as it says fishy work here. It's Ocean Shelfie from Lawn Fawn and Ocean Adventures from Not Too Shabby Shop, as well as these two Pink and Main die sets, which are recent releases from Pink and Main, and they're going to show up in a variety of different videos that I will be using in this mini series. So moving on to the very first card, I think it might be my favorite one. So this one, what I did was I went ahead and I masked the top, and I used that sun stencil right there for top. And then the bottom, I used some glitter paste that I had in my stash that I've had forever. Been struggling with the glue again because it's been very warm in my craft room. It's the last to get the air conditioning. So things are drying out like crazy back here. So it's pretty annoying. And I've been using this other stopper for mine, and I think it's just not working out really, really well for me. But I do have another adhesive, which I'm going to go ahead and use so we're not waiting around. And so these are all A2 size cards. And then I have all my cute little fishies on foam, and they're just swimming in the sea, and I'm kind of figuring out where I want to put everybody. And these are all colored with Copics. And I actually really, really like this stamp set a lot. I didn't realize, you know, this is the first time I've used it. I don't have the dies for it. I believe I must have bought this on clearance. And so I think it probably was cheap enough for me to go ahead and pick up, but it's worth every penny. It's adorable. So it's going to show up in a couple of different videos. I think it should have been the last one as well. So, the sentiment there is stamped and cut out using a die. There's a set of dies for cutting sentiments from La La Crafts. That's what that one's from. And then for this one, I did use that same die, the same technique. Instead of using the glitter paste, I used some paste from Picket Fence Studios. And I think it's like their paper glaze. And I really like how it looks. It's a very creamy product. Goes on really nicely, and it gives a really pretty shimmer. So it gives a nice little shimmer. And so I've got all these little pieces here, these little tiny little guys. I don't know where I cut those out. Oh, I think that was from La La Crafts die that I'm going to be using that die when I get to the die section. I think I'm doing stamps next. I think I decide on stamps, even though I've got something I need to do for the stamp one before it's ready to go. But I think that's the next one I'm going to be doing. And then I'm using another one of those octopus So you could look at my last video or the first video in this series and you can see the teal octopus that I made. So I think this one came out very cute. Now we're on to the next card, making sure that, I wanted to see what I want to do. But most of these are now focusing more on the lawn fawn. It's 2 stencils, and you can kind of mix and match and kind of make a variety of scenes. So for this one, I did some ink blending. I masked off the top. I used some gold paste from Simon Hurley for the sun, and for the kind of like the sun glinting off of the water, that I used some glitter paste. And I kind of like how that came out. And so the rest of these pieces, most of them are going to be from the Ocean Adventures from the Not Too Shabby shop. And that was a June release. It was a box. And it was sold out. So I don't know if these are going to be released later or what. But if you do like these, keep an eye out for these. But there's a lot of products in here that are very much available. So there's the next card. And then this one, I actually used all the stencils for this one. So I used the La La Land Crafts for the water, and I just did ink. I just used ink. And then for the clouds, and then I have the sun stencil, and then I'm struggling to get the super glue. It's really annoying. And then I used the lawn fawn for the palm trees. So, and this one really, helps have that tropical vibe. So what I did with this is I took a piece of sort of dark craft cardstock or brown cardstock, and I just sprayed it with some Tim Holtz Distress in brown, and then I had some gold, I don't know if it was gold spray or gold paint, but I sprayed that a little bit just to kind of, look a little bit more like sand, like the sun's glinting off of there and all of that. So the dolphin is from Pink and Maine. It's the Pink and Maine sea animals or ocean animals. And then all these little pieces right here, I believe these are from the lawn fawn. I believe all of those, or most of those, maybe not the little shoes. So now we're on to this next one. And this one I just did in a different orientation. And I used the lawn fawn stencil, and I used glitter paste on there. And then all of these little ocean creatures, including the sentiment, this is all from Not Too Shabby shop. And so I am going to go ahead and put all of those little pieces down. And so I think what's really nice about doing a nice background is that you can really make all the other little pieces that you have will just look fabulous on your card, wherever you put them. But I am going to show you some paper. I mean, there's some new paper out there that I think would be fabulous, but I just don't have it. So I'll talk about it when I get to the paper section. So 2 more left. So this one's a really simple one. This one uses that lawn fawn die, and I stamped a sentiment right on top, Hello Summer. And it's very simple. So for the horizon, I just went ahead and used ink. So this is what it looks like if you just decide to ink that portion and not do paste or anything fancy. You could just ink it. And so my octopi cutting ball. So this is the last one. And this one uses the entirety of that lawn fawn stencil. So I did do paste for the sun. I did do, instead of glitter paste, what I did was I used some, I think I might have used Glitter Grab, actually. I'm trying to think about it. I think I used Glitter Grab. And that's a product from Tailored Expressions. And then I put some fine glitter over that and then let it dry. Kind of shook it off. And it just gives a little bit of a different look. It's a much more subtle glitter. And then here's that other piece of brown cardstock that I used. And it's going to go down. And so this one, it definitely gives it much more tropical vibe when you put the palm trees there. And then I've got all my little pieces that I want to set down on my little sand there. And the little crab, I don't even know where that little crab came from. The little crab, so cute. I am thinking, the little crab will show up somewhere. I was trying to figure out where that crab came from. One of the stamp sets that I'm using, it's gonna pop up. I don't even know where that crab comes from. But here's the card. I've got the sentiment set right there. And then here's just a rundown of all the cards that I made in this video. Thank you for watching. This is Sandy playing the heart.